Hey everyone, in honor of US Thanksgiving, we've got a good Black Friday question here for all you shoppers out there. So let's read it and then see what we have to do. So on Black Friday, you spot a great deal on a TV. Original price $24.50, but on sale for 30% off. You know that the tax rate is 10%, so you assume the net savings will be 20% because that's your 30% off and then add back on your 10%. So 30 minus 10 is 20. Your math-loving friend, who happens to be really good looking as well, tells you you're wrong and that you'll actually end up saving more than 20%. As you trample people to get to the TV, you ask him to explain why and what the final price will be after tax. So I guess I'll act as that friend. Tough times. Okay, so a couple things going on here. We kind of want to work on how to calculate savings when we have a discount, how to calculate prices with and without tax, and then ultimately we want to see is, by the end of this Black Friday thing on this TV, are we going to save 20% on what we would have paid originally? Are we going to save 30% on what we would have paid? Or is it going to be something in the middle or something else? So let's kind of go step by step. The first thing is, in terms of steps, we always apply discounts first, and then we apply the tax on that new amount. And the reason for this is you can think of tax as sales tax. So the company, whether this be Walmart or Target or whoever, they can only charge you tax on the amount that they sell. So we need to find that sort of new price tag first. So it starts off at $24.50. And I'm going to show you a quick shortcut to figure out what the new price will be. Lots of times people will take the 30% off and they'll want to say, okay, so what's 30% of $24.50? But it's much easier to find out what you're going to pay by saying we want to multiply this by 1 minus that 30%. And we're going to use 30% in decimal form, so 0.3. And the reason for this is because if you're getting 30% off, that means you still have to pay 70% of it. So you can see that this piece here, 1 minus 0.3, is 0.7. So we're just calculating what 70% of 24.50 is. That's an easy calculation in the calculator, and we'll get 17.15. So this is sort of our new price tag. And again, all that is the 30% off of the $24.50. Now we want to say, okay, how much are we going to see at the till? Well, they're going to take that $17.15 and they're going to multiply it by 1 plus the tax rate, which is $17.15 times 1 plus 0.10, because that's 10%. Which will get you to 1886.50 at checkout. So that's with the discount applied and with the tax rate applied. Again, the tax we can see here is only on the $17.15, not on the $24.50. And that's really the key here, which we'll see what it relates to in terms of an overall discount. Because tax is a percentage, it really matters what your base is. So a 10% tax on a base of $17.15 is a lot different than what a 10% tax would have been on $24.50 because the base would have been much bigger. Now to calculate how much we really did save. Well, we want to calculate how much we paid versus how much we would have paid. So let's figure out how much we would have paid had there been no discount. We would have had the price tag of $24.50 and done the same thing of 1 plus 0.10 to charge our tax on top of that. Again, this is no discount, and that would have been $26.95. So we can see that we've saved quite a bit in terms of dollars, about over $800, because we're paying $18.86 versus we should have paid $26.95 if there was no discount. How do we calculate our savings percentage? That's a simple formula. Savings percentage equals, I'll call it old minus new over old times 100. And what this means is the old or original price minus the new price, because that is that old minus new on top, that's just going to be your dollar savings. So it's 2695 minus 1886.50, I'll say, over the 2695. Again, this should make sense. The top here is your dollar savings, right? The difference between what we would have paid and what we are paying. And we want to take that as a percentage of our original, because we're saying how much did we save off that original. And if you punch this in, you'll get exactly 30%. So the friend was correct, but really it just goes back to the exact discount that you were given. It is 30% off. Again, a couple things. Order matters. So the first thing you do is apply the discount to the price tag, and then you apply the tax rate to that new price tag. And then for savings, it's a pretty simple formula to get your percentage saved. Hopefully this is helpful. Happy shopping out there, and don't trample too many people.